right, hey everybody, we're live. This is Brita with the Firehose project. We have a presentation today to chat a little bit about our program. So super excited to have you joining us and to chat about our Firehose Bootcamp, what it's like to be a web developer, talk a little bit about some industry trends, stuff like that, and definitely hope to answer your questions. So definitely, as you're listening, if you have any questions, feel free to send them into questions@thefirehoseproject.com, or you're also welcome to send questions via the chat in the sidebar, and we'll get back to you there. But feel free to shoot me an email. I'll also show my email towards the end of the info session, and I would love to chat and set up one-on-one calls as well, so I'll let you know how you can do that. So before we get started, a little bit about what we're going to be covering in today's info session. So we're going to talk a little bit about what it means to be a web developer today and what that career looks like, and take a look at some of the industry trends, the job demands, stuff like that. And we're going to take some time to really look at the types of roles that we're preparing you for, and then go into our program, and so look at the support, the curriculum, all of that type of stuff, and really what you get out of this program and where you can expect to kind of end up after going through the Firehose Bootcamp. So let's get started. So a little bit about the Firehose project. We actually started off in Boston, and we were teaching in-person coding bootcamps. So we started off by teaching intensive boot camps at places like Harvard, Babson, Brown, Carnegie Mellon, RISD, bunch of other places and kind of events and organizations. And then we actually ended up moving to be located in San Francisco. So that's where we currently are now, a little closer to that Golden Gate Bridge there. And what teaching in person really did, though, is it gave us the ability to learn very quickly how students learn these concepts best, and really figure out how to explain the concepts best and how to provide the right content at the right time. So in creating an online boot camp, we're able to transition from having that in-person kind of dialogue and take all of the best aspects of that and develop it into an online coding boot camp where you can learn and benefit from all of those learnings that we had teaching in person, but also benefit from having a more individualized experience and being able to move more at your own pace. So we're going to talk a lot about that coming up. But I think the big question, if you're joining this info session today, is why should I work as a software engineer? So most of you joining are kind of possibly considering changing careers, looking for some change in your job, in your life. And this is a great possibility. So if you haven't already, definitely do sign up for our free bootcamp prep course so that you can start getting a sense of what it's like to do this kind of work and have some fun and get code feedback from our engineers as well. So why should I work as a software engineer? So let's start just from a super practical point of view, looking at some numbers. So according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, there will be 1 million more jobs than computer science students by 2020. So what that means is there's a huge job demand for these types of roles. So let's kind of dig into that a little bit more. So this is, again, from the US Bureau of Labor Statistics. You can check out more information here, just Google that if you're curious. And this is some real data that they have. So looking at the number of computer science students here over the next several years and the job demand. So what that means is that this is this huge gap where employers are looking to fill these roles and just not finding enough talent. There are just not enough people to fill these jobs. So our goal here is to train our students to fill those jobs and find meaningful careers in web development. Some more information, I know it's a question that we get pretty frequently, is kind of about salaries and wage. And so this is also from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the median annual wage, and that data is from May of 2016, but is 106, a little over 100,000. So that is also another way to look at it, and supporting yourself and a career change that helps you support yourself and your family while doing something that you love as well. So let's go back to this. So why is this demand, why is that growing? We've got this up and to the right chart, and what does that mean? So where are all these jobs coming from? and what does that role look like? So software engineers and web developers create web apps. And so one of the questions that we get a lot is kind of what is the difference between a software engineer and a web developer? And we actually had an info session on this topic a few weeks ago, and ultimately the difference is pretty slight. So you're learning basically at a very high level in whether you're training to be a software engineer or a web developer, you're training to effectively program computers to basically do what you want. So to do a certain task or accomplish certain goals or address an opportunity. So software engineers, I think the kind of technical difference is that software engineers will sometimes also build like more desktop apps and stuff like that. But that being said, our program trains you to be a full stack web developer. And that is going to set you up with the foundation and the fundamentals to become either a web developer or a software engineer. What we're teaching you in our program is to create web apps. And so a web app, if you think about it, is the type of website that you go to and you can click around or enter, type something in, and the website's going to react to the actions that you're taking. So the internet, way back when, used to basically be a place to display documents. So it's very static pages. You could view a document as a viewer on that website. You couldn't really, change what was displayed there. So it was not interactive. A web app is anything that's kind of interactive where you're able to click around and make changes on that site. So some examples of web apps that you probably use commonly are things like Airbnb. So, booking a vacation or a room somewhere. So you can type in search features, you can save things, you can comment on it. Using Uber. So hailing taxis, entering your address, adjusting the map, Gmail, Excel. So all these types of things are apps that software engineers and web developers create. So you can start to think about how prevalent these are already. And so the reason why that demand in the jobs is increasing so much for these types of for these types of roles, is because these types of apps are present across almost every industry and kind of sector right now, and that's only growing. So taking a look at where these types of roles are present, it's really across such a wide range of industries. So whether it's transportation and how we, hail taxis, whether it's, with Uber or Lyft or rideshare programs. And then, a lot in like research and development, healthcare. So you have an online portal. Most bigger insurance companies now have like an online portal where you can log in and manage your health insurance, or they have a mobile app where you can have that on the go. Retail. So the way that we shop, whether it's, buying home goods or whatever on Amazon or on Etsy, buying arts and crafts, or, every retail brand now, most retail brands are moving to online sales and really seeing that online sales are starting to be like the trend of the future versus retail locations. So a great retail brand called Everlane actually started off with only online. They did not have any physical locations, and that was a way that they were able to kind of keep overhead down among a number of other reasons. So the shape of retail is really changing as well. Finance, actually agriculture, government, defense, all of these types of industries are being powered by software. And so that's where this amazing job demand is coming from, is because all of these industries are looking at how they can innovate and be more efficient and effective. So you look at, even older industries or companies, you look at like FedEx. FedEx is commonly referred to as a software company with planes and trucks. So all of FedEx, all of that logic, all of that, the logistics is powered by software. And then you can also look at really innovative things as well. Like I have a friend here in San Francisco who has a dog, and actually there's like a dog walker app that's almost like a lift for your dog. So there's all these new innovative ways as well that are in addition to kind of more traditional industries where these are popping up. So here's some examples, whether it's how you order a Domino's pizza online, you can customize your pizza and watch it be delivered to your door, or whether you are using health industry software or traveling, autonomous cars like Tesla's obviously creating, racing to create these autonomous cars. Google's working on them, and all these cars are incorporating a lot more software and programming right into the car. So across so many different industries, the possibilities really are endless, and the jobs are just growing. A little bit about kind of the industry and the state of things right now. So let's look at the Firehose program and really kind of dive into that. So we're going to start right off with the question that we get a lot: how long is the program and how much does it cost? So obviously, coding bootcamp is a big commitment. Our bootcamp is a really intensive program that does train you to be a professional level full stack developer. So it does require a lot of your time, a lot of dedication. So that being said, we are the most flexible and affordable software engineering program of this caliber. So we pack a lot of value into our program, and we make sure that it's accessible and a possibility for as many students as we can. So we have two different course paces in our program. So we have a moderate course pace that is 42 weeks. And then we have an accelerated pace that's 22 weeks. So both of these paces are going to be for the same program, and they have some slight differences. So for the moderate course pace, students are going to spend about 12 to 15 hours per week coding. In the accelerated pace, 25 to 35 hours per week. So that kind of gives you a sense of what like a schedule or how many hours you would put into that to complete the program on time. To break that down a little bit further, for the moderate pace, it's about 2 hours a day. For the accelerated pace, it's about 5 hours a day. That being said, you can put in these hours when it works for you. So if you have, 3 days a week that you want to spend more hours on the program, you can pack it all into 3 days a week and have more hours per day. You can do it in evenings, nights. So we're going to, mornings, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But that kind of helps you visualize how much time that is to devote to the course. So in terms of tuition, our moderate, and sorry, these are actually backwards, so I'm sorry about that, but the moderate pace is starting at 8,500 and the accelerated pace starts at 6,500. So apologies for that. You can see actually the tuition costs at the firehoseproject.com/tuition. As well as some payment plans available. So we do have these payment plans. You can break it down into monthly plans that split the cost of tuition over several months. For US-based students, we do also have financing, so we have loans available. Unfortunately, at this time, we don't have that outside of the US, but you can apply for a loan through our financing partner, Climb Credit, if you are based in the US. And so that is a loan term that ends up being from $195 or $260 a month, depending on your loan terms, obviously, and which course pace you choose. So that being said, we promise the most value for your time, money, and commitment. So we expect a lot from you. We expect a lot of dedication. It does take a lot of time to go through it, but we promise you the most value through support and our premium curriculum and being a part of our Firehose community. And our goal through all of this is to prepare you for the real world and for a job in the real world as a web developer. So all of our curriculum, our whole program is based around real world experience, real world application, and getting you to a competitive level where you're a competitive candidate searching for these jobs. So let's dive into what it's like to be a student in the program. So we train you, as I said, to be a qualified software engineer or web developer. And so as you're training through the program, we give you all these real world experiences, and we teach through kind of repetition and hands-on lessons. So as you're going through the course, you're going to be building out 5 apps using Ruby on Rails and JavaScript. And you're going to be taking these apps from the full like wireframing through development, through hosting. You're going to be using GitHub, learning how to deploy your programs and your code. And through that repetition, you're building on each time, learning how to build more feature sets and do more complex topics. And so we're also teaching a really strong focus on computer science fundamentals, and so we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But in terms of being in the program, we do give you the flexibility to work whenever and wherever. Basically, you need some sort of machine and a Wi-Fi connection in order to take our course. So we have students all over the United States and actually all over the world, as well as mentors across the United States and internationally that are taking our program. So we have students across different time zones. And what this does is it really gives you the flexibility to learn on your own time, and also and also to log in and learn on your own time and learn from each other's backgrounds as well, and really tap into this Firehose community of really diverse perspectives. So we have a global talent community that includes our mentors from all over the world, really bringing their kind of background and experience into your learning process. So here's some examples. We've got Ken and Marco. These are our co-founders leading a group session, and so they would probably not be super happy about this photo that I've included. We've got John Zhao. He's one of our graduates, and he's currently working at a really cool startup called Food Junkie. You can check out more about him on our site. And so going into kind of mentors and stuff like that. So personal support is a huge part of our program. We want to make sure you always get support when you need it. So that comes in many different forms. So we have platform support, we have support through one-on-one mentorship, we have the forum. So we're going to go into those a little bit more. So how do I get support when you're coding in our online bootcamp? So the first way is by getting really quick answers in the technical forum. So I equate this to raising your hand in class. So as you're coding, especially when you're learning, error messages can be tricky to decipher. Sometimes you get hung up from an extra comma or a typo in your code, and you have spent hours kind of looking over it, reading through documentation, you can't figure it out. We don't want you to get stuck spinning your wheels. So we have a technical forum at the bottom of each lesson where you can post questions, you can copy and paste your code, you can take a screenshot, include a link to GitHub, and we'll be able to take a look and get you a quick answer and get you some quick help there. So this, again, is like raising your hand in class. So our Firehose engineers and ambassadors are constantly monitoring the forum and making sure that you get really quick response times. So talking with people in our community as well is a huge way to get help and share your experience and talk through the challenges that you've had. So we have several different ways that you can do this. So one is our community channel. So we have people sharing topics about their blog posts, talking about, pro group pipelines, developer topics. They have people introducing themselves. So this is a way that you can interact with the community as well. And then we also have student Slack channels. So there's always conversation going on in these Slack channels. And you can really tap in, there's a feature in our course where you can see who's coding along in the same lessons with you and find them in Slack. And so we have students, alumni, mentors, the Firehose team in Slack. There's always a community where you can go in and communicate and learn more and share your experiences and ask questions. We also hold weekly office hours. So Ken and Marco, our co-founders, hold office hours each week, and so it's a time where students can call in a virtual kind of hangout and ask questions, chat with each other, and be able to kind of share their experience, talk about challenges, hear what other students are challenged and what their questions are, and really kind of get together with that community further. So mentorship is another piece of this. And so the mentorship is really preparing you and helping you develop your career and getting you to the next level each week. So mentor sessions are a great time to bring those kind of high-level questions, dig into things like algorithms, like test-driven development, challenges throughout the week that you've been working on, and go into that one-on-one with your mentor. So every student in our full program is matched with a mentor, and our mentors are experienced developers, so they have several years of coding experience. They are full-time programmers working in jobs every day. So you get to basically work with a professional as you're learning. And it's a great time to, like I said, ask questions, chat about challenges, and pair program. So that's when you can actually share your screen and code alongside the senior developer that is your mentor, and go through challenges, see how they approach things, and really talk through kind of what you're thinking. And that experience of pair programming with a senior developer is something that helps our students really kind of click pieces into place and progress past challenges and really move forward each week as you go. And so you can view some of these careers that our students have moved on to on our website. So you can actually see kind of some before and afters, what students are doing after the program. You can click through, read their reviews. So definitely head over to our website to check out some of our alumni and what they're doing. And you can also take a look at our mentors. So we have several mentors listed on our website as well. You can read through some of their bios, see what types of mentors we've got, where they're working, kind of read a little bit about their background. In terms of matching with the mentor, we do work with our mentors really closely, and we match, when you start the full Firehose program, we ask some of your kind of background and goals, and we match you with a mentor that's going to bring the most to the table given your background and goals. So we take a lot of care to match you with an awesome mentor that's going to have kind of relevant experience to your background and goals. So going into what will you learn and build in the program. So first of all, we start with a really solid foundation of computer science. And this is really important because it's what sets you up to be kind of an unstoppable programmer and a really versatile programmer. So we focus a lot on algorithms and learning how to use algorithms to achieve what you want in the task at hand with web development. So we focus on algorithms, test-driven development, object-oriented programming, and basically giving you, again, this really solid foundation of computer science fundamentals, because those are the things that are applicable across any computer language, across any challenge that comes your way. And we want you to have that solid foundation so that you can continue building on top of that. And so learning how to learn and learning how to continue always, developing as an individual and developing a career is a huge goal of our program. We're not just trying to teach you how to build a few apps that you can add to your portfolio. We want to set you up for a lifetime of success here. And so it starts with the computer science fundamentals. So you'll be, writing code from day one and learning, even in our bootcamp prep course, as you're writing Ruby, you're going to be learning how to basically write arrays and iterations and how to loop and stuff like that. And those are kind of the building blocks. So if you haven't signed up already, go to our free bootcamp prep course and sign up there and start learning some of these foundations that you'll then continue to learn throughout the rest of the program. So again, our curriculum is very hands-on. So you're going to be working to develop apps from the very beginning. So in week one, you start working with databases and you set up a database-powered quotes generator. Next, you'll build a Yelp clone. So you're going to be working with features like, again, data structures. You're going to be building out features to accept user input, to have commenting systems, star rating. The Yelp clone works with a Google Maps API. So you're going to learn how to read API documentation and tie those into your apps. So you can find out more about all of our projects that you'll be working on. If you sign up for the free bootcamp prep course, you'll see a preview full program link. And so in that preview full program link, you can actually read through all the projects that you'll be working on. And you can read through the different kind of features that you'll learn how to build and the technologies that you'll use for each project. So I'm not going to go too into detail here because that is on our site. But again, that's something I'd love to chat about on a one-on-one call if you're interested. So getting the right content at the right time is a super important part of our platform, and that's why our online platform is so valuable, because we're able to provide basically the right types of things. So what we do is we're teaching you how to build out all these apps, and then we can ping you and say, hey, now's a great time. Why don't you watch these overview videos? We're going to walk through everything you just did. We're going to explain it. It's going to all kind of click into place. So we have a combination of text-based curriculum as well as video lessons and overviews. And we also have challenges and quizzes thrown in there to make sure that you're really applying the knowledge and make sure that it's not just that you're able to go through a text-based lesson and follow along and create the apps when we're guiding you along. We want to make sure that all of this is applicable. So we start off by teaching you how to build these things, and we're walking you through step by step, and we're slowly removing the training wheels and asking you to apply that more and more on your own and challenging you to do so and getting you to that point where you feel confident to not to know everything, but to look up your own answers and to figure out how to do things for yourself. So here are some of the challenges. I'm not going to stay on that too long. Don't want to give anything away. And so one of the final pieces of our curriculum is the team project. And so this is a huge part of what helps our students get jobs. So in the final 8 weeks, so 2 months of the program, you're going to be working on an agile team project where you will have a team of other Firehose students that's being led by a Firehose mentor. And so all is based on a dev team environment and getting you that experience so that you know how to work as a member of a team. So all the best products are made by teams, and the roles that you're going to be applying for as a web developer are most likely on dev teams. So a really important part of applying for those jobs and interviewing is demonstrating that you know how to communicate and work through an agile workflow as a team. So what we do on the Agile Team Project is you'll build out a complex web app where you'll be able to you'll be challenged to work with more complex logic and algorithms and stuff like that, and you're doing it as a team. So you'll have a team kickoff meeting, you'll look at the task at hand, and then you'll start breaking that down into individual tasks. So that's something that we talk about this workflow a lot in our program. Is as a developer, you have to start with one thing. You need to, you don't want to get things confused. You don't want to overlap the projects that you're working on. So you break that down to individual tasks, and you work with your team to divide that up. And each build out, features, and then learn how to merge all that code back together into one app. And so you're working on this agile, what's called an agile workflow with your team, and that's how web development teams do it in the real world. And so you'll be using GitHub and learning how to collaborate on GitHub as a team and merge your code in. So this is some of the examples of our group project. And so after what this sets you up for basically is to be prepared for real world challenges and to be prepared for a role on these types of teams and in these jobs that are posted and that are making up that gap that we showed at the beginning of the info session. So real world challenges, we're setting you up to use all the same tools, the same workflow, so that when you start applying for these jobs, it's an easy to see that you're going to basically make hit the ground running and make an effective member of this team. So once you and you're getting near to graduating the program, we support your career change with job preparation tracks. So these are lessons that we built out extensively with the support and feedback of technical recruiters and hiring managers. And we start all the way from the beginnings. You'll see here from like a very basic overview of different ways to get jobs. So finding job postings, networking, and we talk about how to do all these things. So it's very detailed, very action-based. And so we go into things like optimizing your application. You may not be able to read this here, but again, you can see a preview of this and preview the full program from our free bootcamp prep course. So the link up in the top. And so we walk through how to set up your resume, how to we go over cover letters. We break down the technical interview. So we talk about what happens in a technical interview, how to prepare, how you can practice for whiteboard challenges, stuff like that. And we're also simultaneously giving you these types of challenges and exposing you to that and really giving you that hands-on practice throughout the whole program. So is this enough? Like, will a boot camp be enough to get you a job? So we have all our graduates are graduating to get jobs all over as full stack web developers. We've had students graduate and get jobs using different languages that we don't necessarily teach in our program. We've had students graduating and building out their own projects and starting their own companies. So it's one of the things where you get what you put into it, and our bootcamp sets you up for success with giving you the support and the mentorship and the job preparation alongside our premium curriculum and content, and giving you that hands-on real-world experience to go out and change your career and get these types of roles. And so these are some examples of places where we've had students and where our students have gone, and then our alumni and mentors as well. So a really wide variety. We've had students, from Google, from let's see, Indiegogo, mentors from a bunch of these companies as well. So these are some examples of kind of where our students are going. And ultimately, we want to set you up for success, both in your job after graduation and for the rest of your developer career. And so our whole program is oriented around giving you the tools to continue learning And so as a full program student, you'll also have lifetime access to our platform and our curriculum. So to the current curriculum as well as the job preparation. And that's how you can go off into the world and start, a career as a programmer, and really feel self-sufficient, learn how to look up your own questions and solve problems. So what's next? So if you haven't already, I've said it a couple times, but sign up for the free bootcamp prep course. It's completely free. You start writing some Ruby code and create a portfolio. You'll get feedback from our team on your code. So you'll get some of your first code reviews, and you'll learn some of those computer science fundamentals, the programming fundamentals. That also acts as our admissions process. So in order to join the full program, you'll need to complete a few of the coding challenges in the bootcamp prep course. And once we give you the thumbs up on the 3 coding challenges, we can officially accept you into our full program. So if you have questions about this, you can email me. That's brita@thefirehoseproject.com. You can also send any questions to questions@thefirehoseproject.com. And I'm happy to set up a call to go more into detail about our curriculum, can give you a demo of the platform, chat more about our support, and I always love to hear your coding goals and kind of where you're coming from and what you're looking for to make sure, to see if this program is a good fit for you. So thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really excited to chat with some of you more. If you haven't already, again, sign up for our free bootcamp prep course, and hope you have a great day and hope to have you coding with us soon. Thank you. Bye.